sharing. Thank you. Wonderful.
There we go.
Thank you. So it says screen sharing is paused. Can people see my screen or not?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm gonna stop that and then start over. Okay.
We
I
did
think
have
what
it
I'm
on
doing here
before.
is kind of just, yeah, I know I was admitting people, so I just went off to another screen. Can you see it now?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
You should be able to now. Okay, wonderful. Meet our team. Good. We've gotten through that. So what is Straighterline? And really, more to the point is really understanding what alternative credit is as well. Our mission here at Straighterline is to advance education by empowering learners to reach their college and career goals. And also, more importantly, is to give them that agency over when, where, why, and how. And also what's just best for your families, right? For the cost as well. We know that student debt is just out of control. And that's one of the reasons why we exist, is to offer that quality self-paced online courses for you. Our governing body is the American Council on Education. So I have kind of two areas here. So Straighterline works in conjunction with the American Council on Education. We have 70 courses, and I listed just a few here that might interest you the most, but you can see that these are general education courses that may also serve as dual credit as well. And then Straighterline, we get this approval, we go to the American Council on Education, they look at our syllabi, they decide that it warrants and it's deemed worthy of academic credit at universities. And then another level is moving toward our 180 partner schools. We have more than any other alternative credit provider. We're pretty proud of that because it takes so much work to do the vetting and the evaluating for you. So what we do is we go to each of these partner universities, we take a look at the college algebra from Straighterline, college algebra from Arizona State University Global. We compare the syllabi and make sure that all those performance targets are being met. So we've done that prior work for you, so you don't need to worry, is my Straighterline course for my child going to transfer into these partner schools or not? Is everyone with me on the hold alt credit piece?
Pros at that.
Okay, good. And this is what one of our 180 partner pages look like. So you can see that this is the work that we've already done for you on your behalf. We can see Liberty courses right here, the accounting elective lower level, and the course name at Straighterline is ACC Accounting 1. The credits are going to be 3 credits. So this is what we mean by you go to the partner page, you choose your school, one of our partner networks, one of our partner schools. You can click on the course and start immediately. I know that Jennifer is going to talk more about the actual course, and we're going to dive much, much deeper into it.
Cool.
This is self-paced with no deadlines. It gives your child and your family the flexibility and the time to complete courses on the time that works for them. The average time to complete our courses is 28 days. Okay. So you can see here too, we do still have a library that has proctored courses. I did want to put up just a list of the non-proctored courses that we currently have. Dr. Glennon and Naya will both be talking more about that, but we know that proctoring courses can be difficult, especially for homeschool communities. Putting sheets around your room to try and cover up the course or the books, because your home is truly your school as well. Not to mention time zones and scheduling the proctoring can be really difficult as well. We want to remove as many barriers as possible to completion so your family can feel that success and confidence with college courses. Great. So Jennifer, I'm going to hand it off to you just because you have definitely felt and seen the benefits of alternative credit with your own family. So I thought maybe I would allow you to talk a little bit more about this, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Mhm.
So I'm Jennifer Cook-DeRosa. I'm the founder of Homeschooling for College Credit. And if you've been in homeschooling for college credit for any amount of time, you know we started around 2012. Well, my relationship with Straighterline actually goes back earlier than before homeschooling for college credit. So when we first discovered Straighterline in my homeschool, I want to say it was right at the very beginning, around 2011. And two of my sons used some of the courses towards their degree. One of the things that got me really excited was some of these changes and things that you guys are going to see today, in addition to them forming partnerships with a lot of colleges. So if you guys have heard me talk about ACE credit, there's a lot of benefits to ACE credit, but it's not a one size fits all. So I want to talk about the benefits kind of in context so that you can see if it's a good fit for your student. So it is not run on deadlines. It is self-paced, but that does also require either the parent or the student directing the learning in some kind of a way. This is not the type of a course where you would want to purchase the course, enroll in the subscription, and then not complete the course for a year because you're just going to be paying for it and not moving forward. So this type of a program works really good when your student has that discipline or when you put a schedule in place for them to work quickly through the course. Kelly mentioned that the average time to completion was 28 days. There might be some data that Dr. Mel can share with us as far as like how many hours that actually equates to. But I can just tell you in our homeschool, I had my son working on 1 or 2 classes a day for most of his school day. And we just did school in a pretty traditional 4 or 5 day a week schedule. And that was pretty true for us as well, that it would take about a month when we did that way. So for families that are looking for a way to move that into their homeschool, it might make sense to do something like that when they can focus, like over a Christmas break or a summer break, if you're not sure, or you can move that along with the rest of your classes. But the no placement tests is a really big one. You don't have to test in to the Englishes or the math. So you're just going to want to preview, the course syllabus and see if it's on par with what your expectations are for your students' level. And if something happens, then there is high school grade point average protection. So let me just explain that real quick. So in a dual enrollment situation, of course, with one exception of it being Arizona State University, which we're not going to talk about, but in a dual enrollment situation, if your student withdraws, gets a poor grade, or anything happens that they can't complete the class, there is going to be a permanent record of that. So when you're talking about a course like through Straighterline, it's completely up to the parent to disclose whether or not that student has completed the class. So if your student completes a class, then that can be reported to future colleges or not. It's not required to be disclosed, and you can choose even to record it on their high school transcript or not. So you really have full autonomy there. And by grade point average protection, the other thing to think about is that you are going to award their letter grade. When they actually send this credit to their target college, it's going to come in as pass-fail credit. So if you want your student to have a certain letter grade, they can work on that. And you get to award that grade for high school. I shared with Kelly when we were in a meeting earlier this year that one of my sons, he failed business statistics 3 times and he kept having to retake it. He needed it for his degree. And thankfully, because it was with Straighterline, he was able to do that and it wasn't going to affect his grade point average. So the other thing is I did just want to point out that textbooks are included. That's something that's sometimes an extra cost for families. And the on-demand tutoring, which actually I'm not very familiar with, but I do know that that is a feature that was not available when we used Straighterline, and so that's a new feature that's available now. So the last thing that I think I wanted to say is that if you listen to Homeschooling for College Credit stuff, that I want you guys to look at partner colleges. So Straighterline has partner colleges, and this is how you resourcefully plan your high school. This is a little bit better of a guarantee than if you're just taking classes randomly and you're not sure of your target college. So I realize that not everybody is going to have their target college picked out right away, but they have the most available. So if you're looking at 3 or 4 colleges and they are on that target college list, and their partnership, then you can have a much higher likelihood that those courses are going to transfer the way that you expect. And so that can be very important as well, so that you're not losing credit. Some of those partner colleges, we're not going to talk about it today, but you can look. Some of those partner colleges also have dual enrollment programs. So if you're very creative and very resourceful, you can partner together your Straighterline courses, your dual enrollment courses, and then potentially have access to college advising that way. So there's a lot of benefits for using these kind of courses because they have these partnerships with the universities.
Thank you, Jennifer. I really like that it's so relevant too. And I know that all the families are planning curriculum and really just trying to learn as much as they can. So I just love that you have this, like you've done it, your family has done it, and you've benefited from it. And that's wonderful. Perfect. Thank you so much. We'll definitely leave time here at the end for Q&A. I'm sure there's a ton of questions and just learning about this if it's new to you. We'll leave some time there to have a discussion as well. So we're going to move more into a course demonstration. I had put just a couple of screenshots in here because I think that it will give, let's see, I'm wondering if I can mute. Let's see. If I can mute thing real quick here. See, I don't think I can mute. I think I can, but I don't want to.
I have a different panel than you do, but I believe if you hit participants, like if you just click on that, it might have the mute everyone option. And then when someone speaks, they can unmute themselves.
Okay, nuts. Okay.
Maybe I'm going off of memory. I have a different view than you do.
I know. Yeah, I am definitely, here, I'm gonna admit it all. So we just also admitted a bunch of others. Yeah, I don't know if I can mute. I'm in there, but I'm not seeing that. Anyway, we won't take too much time. It's not too bad. But what I did do here is include some screenshots here. So when you do have a copy of this presentation, at least this will spark a little bit of a memory. I know that Dr. Glennon and Naya will take you through it. Through the course demonstration, but I just wanted you to have some visuals so you can see how rich this content is and how detailed it is. I didn't want to put too much on here, but it even goes to like midterm preparation and a checklist. It's so supportive of the students, which I absolutely love. And I'm sure that that was intentional, of course, because Dr. Glennon is designing these with lots of support in mind. Dr. Glennon and Naya, I'll let you take it away. I'll see if I can allow you to share your screen. I'm hoping that that can happen.
We can keep it as is. I can just nod for the next slide just to keep it easy if that's best.
Okay, I think I can get in here with sharing, advanced sharing options. Let me see.
Actually, it would be easier if you just left your screen open. I don't have it so much on mine, but.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. Well, let's move to the next slide. And thank you. Hello again. Naya and I are leading the nerdy part here. So we're going to be sharing how Straighterline's learning model is uniquely aligned with the needs and the strengths of homeschool learners, and why we're seeing so many students thrive when given the structure and the support and the space to learn at their own pace. So proud to say that we've supported thousands of students in earning transferable college credit. And we've seen some consistent patterns in who succeeds and why they succeed. So I want to share a few key things we've learned about supporting students and how our learning model is built with these insights in mind. So first, autonomy plus accountability equals success. And that's as far as I like to take my ability to use math. But as I'm sure you know, and you know best, most homeschooled students are used to having some independence in how they learn. But what they still need is a clear structure, and Jennifer alluded to this earlier, to help them move forward. And our courses are self-paced, but we like to think of it as having a guide on the side. So second, feedback fuels.
Oops, Mel, I think you went on mute.
I think I accidentally did that.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, great.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
Feedback fuels mastery.
All right, feedback fuels mastery. So said, we don't believe it's stopping at the first draft, said the former English professor who truly believes this. So students get meaningful feedback from real faculty along with opportunities to revise and resubmit assignments. And we call it our grow and show model. And I believe, Naya, you came up with that because the goal isn't just a grade, it's growth. And third, clear expectations, we know build confidence. So especially for younger learners, ambiguity can completely tank confidence. And that's why every course with capstone assessments, which are qualitative assessments, includes rubrics and examples and clearly labeled assignments and expectations. So students know exactly what success looks like and how to get there. So fourth, college level challenges plus real credits, we believe equal real motivation. So when students see their work building towards something meaningful, like a transcript, like a degree, a faster path to graduation, they show up differently. It's not just schoolwork anymore, it's a future that they're building. And finally, support matters. We provide just-in-time scaffolding, access to tutoring. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Feedback from faculty, writing support, we like to call it our writing center, and learning tools embedded in the course. So students still have to do the work, but they're never doing it alone. And that's quite a challenge in an asynchronous environment. So, all right, second slide. Yay, okay, thanks. So now that we've talked about what helps learners thrive, I want to show you how we've designed our courses to make that happen. And this is probably the boring part, and Naya is going to get to the really good part, but I'm going to nerd out for a minute. So our academic model is built around the LEAP framework, which you see visualized here at the bottom of the slide. So LEAP stands for, and you know educators love acronyms, so it stands for Learn Without Limitation, Engage Actively, Advance with Agency, and Progress Together. And it's our way of combining research-based principles with the flexibility and transparency students and families need to succeed. So here's what that feels and looks like in our courses. So number one, universal design and accessibility. Courses are built for inclusivity, with intuitive layouts and multiple content formats or multimodalities. We just updated our Moodle, which is our learning management system theme, so it not only looks so much better, but intuitively guides students through the course. So number two, it looks like mastery-based learning. All right, what does this mean? Students can revise and resubmit. The focus isn't on getting everything perfect the first time. It's about growing through the work and, if you will, mastering the outcomes over time. And even with our benchmarks and our checkpoints, which those are our tests and our quizzes, students can give things another go if they need it. It looks like active knowledge construction. So we're not just testing recall. Students complete capstones, which are our essays. Those are our labs, our presentations, and we ask that they apply what they've learned. So wherever it makes sense, we prefer authentic assessments. But of course, we do have traditional quizzes and tests where needed. And finally, it looks like scaffolded autonomy. Students are self-paced, but not unsupported. And it looks like feedback-fueled growth, our grow and show model. So faculty give specific, very actionable feedback, probably more feedback than any student could ever want, and students can apply that feedback to improve. And we see it as a conversation and not just a grade.
I love
Next
that so much. Thank you, Dr. Mel.
All right, so let's talk about some of the policies behind the model and we have a ginormous student handbook, but I'm just going to hit on a couple things, especially things that we've been all talking about lately. So these are the guardrails that make everything work. So first, we believe academic integrity is developmental. We don't treat mistakes as moral failures. Our faculty guide students in citing sources, using AI appropriately, and building their own original work with support and not a gotcha approach. We use Turnitin to verify student originality for capstones, and Naya is going to show you a little bit about that. And we currently have proctoring in some courses, as Kelly mentioned, but starting in early September, all proctoring will be removed. And internally, we call that the Kill Proctoring Project, because we know that it can be pretty painful for all students of all ages, all the time. So we are moving towards using a lockdown browser. More on that to come, but we feel it's less intrusive. We can still monitor integrity, and we're really excited about it. So second, clear AI use expectations. So every capstone or every qualitative assessment, essay, lab has an assigned AI policy. So sometimes AI is completely prohibited. Sometimes it's permitted, but with a disclosure, like a reflection that a student writes up. And sometimes it's integrated intentionally into the assignment. And so our hope is that students learn to use AI responsibly. So these policies ultimately ensure that every Straighterline course feels like a college course, because it is one. And the expectations are real, the credit is real, the outcomes are aligned with what colleges and ACE, Kelly mentioned our American Council on Education, who reviews all our courses, what they expect. So I'm going to transition to Naya, and I'm going to hand things over to our pedagogical wizardress, who will walk you through two of our most popular courses, English 101 and Psych. All right.
Thanks, Mel, and thanks, Kelly. So there's a lot of words on the screen, and I'm going to show you what this all means in action in a minute, but I just wanted to give you an at-a-glance look at what a course like English 101 contains. Many of the things that Mel already mentioned. We have in-house faculty. We really intentionally consider the learning experience. So we bookend it with things like setting a learning goal and then reflecting on whether you met that goal. We have tons of support and resources, and we have lots of authentic assessments that invite students to think about their own lived experiences and to express those experiences in assessments that they can really feel proud of, and feel like they've accomplished something once they complete. If you could move on to the next slide, please, Kelly.
Of course.
Now, Psych 120 is another of our most popular courses. This is an SL-owned course, so we've used OER materials and original content. Because it's an SL-owned course, we have been able to do some fun things like include interactive learning games, create videos with professors and AI-enhanced videos. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It does include tutoring, which again, I'll get into the details of, and it's got those capstones, those important moments where learners are interacting with faculty and also learning about their own strengths and goals as a learner and in their academic, personal, and professional lives, really. We try to connect them all for everybody. Now, Kelly, if this works, I'm gonna attempt to share my screen so we can do the demo.
I did confirm that you should be able to. Here we go. Nice.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Okay, so for some reason, my screen has disappeared, but you all can see it and you will let me know if anything goes wrong, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so this is English 101. English 101, I had the pleasure of building with Mel before I came on to Straighterline full-time. She's a genius, in case you didn't know. And because she is, this was actually also the prototype for LEAP, our learning model. And why was it the prototype? Well, several reasons. This course has always had a transparent learning pathway. So it was really clear for learners right from the get-go that they were kind of going to move sequentially from assessment to assessment. They were going to build skills and knowledge as they went, and they were going to have lots of opportunities to celebrate their accomplishments. Made manifest through LEAP and the new theme that Melanie mentioned, we have all of that and more now. So we still have a very easy to follow learning pathway that's surrounded by resources And we've also spotlighted the resources up here so that a student never has to wonder where or when they can receive help. That's all very clear from the get-go. We also have tons of progress tracking. That's the technical term, but we like to call it moments of celebration because that's really what we're doing in this asynchronous environment with learners. And so how do we do that? On the tiles themselves, when they've completed all the material in there, you get a little check mark. You have overall tracking. So when you complete graded assessments, it will tell you how far you've come in the course. And then if you go into a checkpoint or a capstone, we'll spend a little more time in these, don't worry. When you look at individual things and view them, you also get little check marks in here. So we're always celebrating with the learner, and we do that through these progress trackers, but also through these motivational moments like advice from Dr. Glennon or our other expert faculty who are really there to help guide the process. Now, Mel mentioned how fabulous our feedback is, the grow and show model, and I have to agree. And that's because we do have those multiple submission attempts. We also have tons of contextual feedback before a learner even completes an assessment. So you can see here that we have a video created by our very own Dr. Mel to kind of lead the assessment. Then we
Killing me,
have,
Naya. You're killing me.
I'm singing your praise. We have our prompt, which is very detailed, but not in an overwhelming way in that guide on the side way. So a learner never has to wonder how many words are required, what kind of formatting. Everything, when we can put it in a chart, is there so that it's really manageable and easy to understand. And all of our assessments have rubrics. And that's not only important for a learner to kind of know, hey, if I want to achieve a 4, this is what I've got to be aiming for. But it's also so that our faculty are all aligned and in tune when they're grading assessments to make sure that each student and learner is getting equal feedback treatment. Now, we've got those prompts and rubrics. We also have tools for success, which can include those multimodal elements like videos from Dr. Mel, but also personal writing tips, color-coded assignment examples, additional resources and tips, and even annotated assignments. So we are updating our theme. These look even better and bolder and more beautiful. And but you can see here that what's really important, no matter what it looks like, is the content. It's motivational, it's encouraging, it's clear, and it's transparent about what a learner needs to be doing and why those tasks are important, not just to us, but to them. Now, one thing I wanted to point out that Kelly mentioned was those on-demand support and scaffolding, and Dr. Mel reinforced that as well. We do have those 10 hours of tutoring in every course. This is a writing course, so it's the writing center because that makes sense. But depending on the course, it might say tutoring or a different name based on the discipline and the context. Regardless, any learner in any course gets 10 hours. And the beauty of that is that if they're in English 101 and they're still active and they've only used 6 hours, then they still have 4 hours. And our partner, tutor.com, allows them to use those hours on anything. Test prep, life skills, other courses. So they can really get the help they need in any area of life. Of course, we hope that they'll use it for these courses, but we also love the fact that they can use it outside of them as well. Now, did that change to lifespan development for you all?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, Psych 120 is our second course that we're highlighting today. It has all of the amazing elements that English 101 has, but I wanted to show it to you because it has those 3 assessments that Dr. Mel mentioned. Checkpoints are kind of like our quick knowledge check or quizzes. This is what a checkpoint looks like. You've got some readings. Sometimes you'll have a game or an interactive in there. The nice thing about this, we're reflecting back to that idea of autonomy. If a student has previous lifespan development experience, if this is all review for them, they don't need to go through each lesson, they can just jump right into the checkpoint and take it. Even if they don't have that knowledge and they just want to try it, they can because they have 3 attempts. So we've purposefully designed it that way to give them the power and the freedom to learn how they want to learn. So they can take it. Maybe they passed it because they have the knowledge. Maybe they didn't do as well. And now they know that, oh yes, I really should go and read these and go back to take it. But the point is that they're growing and learning the whole time. And we're not penalizing them for being bold and brave. We want them to do what's in their best interest, and we'll support them and allow them to do that however is best for them. Now, benchmarks are our more typical exams. One thing I want to point out here is that we have callouts everywhere. Not only are they pretty, but they're also really helpful in clarifying expectations. So a learner always knows the time limit on an exam. They always know exactly how many questions and exactly how many points it's worth. Again, multiple attempts on all of these. And finally, those capstones. Those are those authentic projects. Again, we always have supplemental resources, we always have examples, and we always have 2 places that a learner can submit. So they get their first submission, they get feedback, they get their second submission, they also get feedback. There's always feedback, there's always one-to-one interaction with a faculty member, and that's really important to us, and it really helps our learners succeed. Now, I mentioned that we also have fun here at Straighterline with Learning, and one of the ways we do that is through what we call pathfinders. These are learning games. They're present in a lot of our courses. This is one example of a drag and drop. These are ungraded. They help you understand if you've retained the information that you just read or in the video that you just watched, but there's no penalty if you want to check your answer. Oh, I got them all wrong, but it was still fun, right? And so we're really proud of these because it takes us into 21st century learning, but it also gives students additional time on task in a way that's not intimidating and in a way that continues to make learning fun for them. Now, we also, in addition to faculty-led videos like the one that you saw with Dr. Mel, have AI-enhanced videos. Now, that doesn't mean they are all about robots. What it means is that they were built by our faculty, scripted by our faculty, designed by experts, but they have visuals that wouldn't necessarily be possible if I was just filming myself in this really tiny attic that looks like a tent. So it's a great way to embellish learning, make it a little more modern and fun, but have all of the amazing concepts that we would have with a traditional faculty video as well. All right, and I think that is my course demo. I did want to touch really quickly on the faculty feedback if I could. And that is just to let you know that we really take that grow and show process seriously. So when a learner submits a capstone assignment, they get feedback in 3 important ways. They get it in text, where a faculty member actually highlights the text and then leaves a feedback. There's a summary box, which is broader overarching feedback. And then there is rubric feedback as well. So there's 3 ways to create transparency about the learning process through feedback. And our feedback always balances compliments with constructive criticism. And that's really important because we know this is an asynchronous environment. We don't want anyone to see tons of red marks, which we don't have. But we really want them to feel supported. And even if we're showing an area where someone can grow or improve, we want them to know that that isn't something to be ashamed of. That's something to be proud of. And no assignment or assessment is perfect. And it's really just a process. And we really emphasize that the whole way through.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Just regarding the grading of the capstones and things like that, what
Yeah.
would be kind of a typical turnaround time? Like if a student submitted a paper on Monday, about
Yeah.
how long would that take for that to be graded?
All right, so I'm going to share a secret with you all because we're all very good friends here. Advertise 3 to 5 days in case of a technical issue that's out of our control in academics, but we really, really try hard to do a 24-hour turnaround, a 1 to 2 day at max. So barring any kind of technical issue that's not in our control, we're really quick on the turnaround. And that's important because we know our learners are off to the next thing. They need those transcripts, they need those credits, and we really want to honor that.
And can I ask one more question about the courses?
Yes.
If a student has some type of learning needs that would require a longer time for taking a test, is that something that can be worked out ahead of time?
Typically, they'll contact our support services office and then they'll reach out to us and we'll figure out a way to fix the technology so that that time limit that's advertised can be longer. But we're supportive of accessibility and neurodivergence, and we're here to help in any way we can.
Great. We did have a couple questions in the chat. I don't know if you can see them.
Okay.
I can get them for you. One person was curious about seeing what the feedback looks like. I can follow up, or if that's something that can be easily pulled up, you could do that as well, but otherwise I can follow up.
Let's see, I can't pull it up in a course because that would violate student privacy data, but I might have something. I think I have something we can work with here. Give me 1 second.
Sure, sure.
Okay, share again, we'll try this. You're also getting another secret today. This is part of our ACE presentation, the ACE, American Council on Education, but this is how we advertise our feedback process to them. So this is that three-pronged approach that I mentioned. We've got those in-text comments with specific highlights. We've got the summary comments here. A learner and a faculty member can see the Turnitin matching. Again, we're not about catching the cheaters. That's more about, hey, citation and acknowledging where we got our information is important. Everything is, of course, rubric driven. So in addition to all of that feedback, we have rubrics that have clear indications of where a student is in the criteria according to the faculty member. Now, a nice thing about this combination is that when a faculty member leaves a comment here, they can associate it with the rubric. So it's very tiny over here, but you can see the intro has a number 1 near it. And that means that one of these comments has been associated with it. And however many comments they associate with, the number just keeps going up. And so a learner and a faculty member can click on that and then see all of the comments that fall under that specific criteria. And then this is just a reminder about the Turnitin. So it is a student view match and a faculty view match. And we're really focused on teachable moments versus violations. And we always offer feedback and clarification if we're pointing out a match as to how to fix it, what resources might be helpful to look at, and how to just really make sure that we're giving credit where credit is due.
I want to add something, and I want to do it without, casting shade on any of your competitors, if I could. But for those of us who've used many different companies that are ACE type of companies, and you guys know who I'm talking about because I write about them all the time. This is unmatched as far as quality and feedback and the system that they're using here. I mean, these are real professors. These are not just graders that are working for minimum wage from some virtual assistant database. I mean, these are actual professors that are helping you with your writing and your assignments and things like that. So the quality level here, if you're comparing it to other programs that you've tried, I think you'll notice immediately the difference, which is why we were excited about bringing you guys these classes today.
I would agree with that as well. I know Naya and Dr. Glennon, you were getting all embarrassed, but it does show that Dr. Glennon and Naya oversee and have their knowledge and expertise in everything. It's not a database of subject matter experts. It is intentionally created and built by Dr. Glennon and by Naya. And that's really, as you were saying too, Jennifer, that's not something you see.
Mhm.
I've seen this question.
And I promise you, we do have other people on our team. It's just not, but there's more people.
Not just the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
We have seen this question a couple of times, and I think I know the answer, but I think I'd prefer for Dr. Glennon or Naya answer it. Is the same person grading each assignment each time when they submit the assignments?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it varies. So in some courses, we have a single faculty member who is doing the grading on everything. In some, we have a couple. Now, the way that we ensure quality in courses that have more than one faculty member is that we have twice annual calibration or norming sessions where we get together, we make sure we're all using the rubric correctly, we're looking at examples, we're aligning our feedback strategies, we're creating quick marks and Turnitin that we can all use that apply to the assignment. And that's why even when we do have more than one faculty member, we have very few complaints because we have all of these systems in place to ensure equity and to ensure alignment with our practices.
I think that's a differentiator as well, too, to have the faculty be the ones who input their feedback. I think that's really special, and it just goes to show our, mission to quality. quality college courses as well. Yeah, it's perfect.
And Dr. Mel, can you guys address that you're staying on top of your ACE credits and not letting them expire? We did have a question in the chat, and that is something that I monitor for our community. And I do that for many, many companies. And I publish a watch list. You guys might have seen that on the website. So if there was a course that was coming up, we would be aware of it. We follow that. But you guys are pretty committed to
So we
staying on
eat,
top of that, right?
eat, sleep, dream ACE. It's our best friend and our biggest monster. We always want our courses to, we say, get through ACE. We've got to make sure it gets through ACE because we take it honestly really seriously. Our courses are only as good as the credits they count for. And so we have a member of our team, her name is Bernadette. Shout out to Bernadette, but she controls our catalog. She makes sure we have all of our expiration dates. And every year we set our roadmap based on those dates. So we divide it into 4 quarters, we divide and conquer, and never let an expiration happen. I'm almost surprised that happens because that shouldn't happen. Scares me.
It's never happened, I don't think with Strider. It's never happened
Yeah,
with
not with
us, but I
us.
think with other providers, I think that does happen. We don't have, not everyone has a Bernadette.
That's correct. Not everyone has Bernadette.
And frankly, as academics, we're rule followers. It's what, you know,
Yes.
we have guidelines, we follow the rules, we stay in the lane, and we just make sure we do everything we're supposed to do. Because the last thing we ever want is to have a course that won't transfer and won't give credit to the student who's worked so hard on it.
And there is an ACE national guide through their website where you can look that shows the date that the course was recommended and the date that it's going to expire. And you can just rest assured that if it's expiring anytime soon, it's already been on our roadmap for the year and we've already kind of planned it with ACE to have it reviewed. We really are always on top of it.
Perfect. Kind of going ahead to the Q&A.
I can address the one on the pre-test requirements.
Perfect.
None of our courses have required prerequisites. There's obviously sometimes we make a recommendation, and I see there's another question here on advanced courses and like 100, 200, and 300 level courses. Most of our courses are 100 level courses. We do have some in our catalog, some advanced sciences, and even there's no prerequisite. I highly recommend that someone takes chemistry before they take biochemistry and biology, but certainly there's no limitation. We make the recommendations so that everyone can succeed.
And I want to just address that too real quick. Even when a company like Straighterline or any company for that matter, any college for that matter, even though they've identified a course as a lower or an upper level, it's ultimately up to the receiving college to determine what level they're going to assign to that incoming credit. So even if it is lower level, that doesn't prevent a college from assigning upper level credit to it and vice versa. So that's a huge variable as far as, as far as that goes. Yeah.
I can take the next question, the one on transcripts. Do we need to be current members to have it forwarded to a college? No. You could have been a student of ours 5 years ago, and I guarantee you we have it on record, and let us know and we'll make sure your transcript gets to where it needs to go.
I think someone asked about physics and chemistry and instructional videos. So chemistry does have those instructional videos. We're actually revising physics, and it's going to have instructional videos. And we are, as we revise all of our courses, which probably Dr. Mel knows, by the end of this year, it's a huge part of our catalog that's going to be revised, putting in those videos and those interactives and really adding those multimodal elements. So it's not just a text experience.
Yeah, once a long time ago when Straighterline first came to be Straighterline, back in 2009, I believe, the courses were created really super simple. It was a textbook, you drop the textbook into the learning management system, and then you have some tests. And then academics creeped in, us academics, higher ed people, and we're like, that's not going to work. That doesn't really fortify learning, and not to mention it's unpleasant, and that's not how we're going to do things. And so what happened over time is our catalog evolved into courses without the licensed text where we just created them with our subject matter experts. And Naya, she used the term SL owned. Those are those courses. So over 65% of our catalog now has our sort of built-in methodology, our built-in, they're not really textbooks. It's the text is literally in the course. And then some courses we still do licensed text because we find that the text is really great. We just build the scaffolded materials around it.
And it shows too that we're changing along with the students. You know, I mean, back in 2008, 2009, when we started, that's really all that students were needing and wanting at the time. And everything has just been forever changed, as we all know.
Yeah.
For sure. So I have one last piece. We talked about a little bit about pricing. Our regular pricing is $99 a month, and then it's $79 per course. We do have courses with labs, and those are physical labs as well. Those are at an additional cost. From now, starting today until July 31st, you can have buy more, get more. So if you were to purchase 2 courses, you save $25. 3 courses, save $50. By 4 courses, $100. And I'll be able to show you here, I'm going to stop this, the partner page too, that will show you that promo code. And again, I'll follow up with all of this information as well, with the recording, with the presentation, with some of the answers to the questions. I saw one about Test U and Liberty. I'll answer those as well. But I wanted to get into and show you the partner page really quick here too, because their team was working hard to create it for you all. So this is our partner page here, and you can see this promo is right here. Let me move that over. So this is right here. It shows you exactly what it is, and it shows you what the code is, and that is special for you all through the end of the month as well. And you can see how easy it is here. We can find the course. We can look at all of the information, much of which we've gone over today in our hour together, how you do it. You can click here and see all of our partner schools. It looks like most of you have already been diving in as well to see who we partner with. And then you can see all of our courses here, ready to go. You can enroll and start to move forward. I'm open for discussion or any other thoughts, questions. I know that we have, gosh, 6 minutes left already. This went really quick.
Kelly, we have a question in the chat about if a person purchases the 4 courses, can they do them one at a time or with breaks in between and pause the membership, or does the membership have to be continuous?
Yeah, that's a good question. I believe it needs to be continuous, but I will definitely get some clarity on that. Yeah, you would need to be an active member. The idea here too is to get the discount and then have that time and flexibility to complete it as your family needs it, as your scholar needs it. But yeah, I believe you need to have the active membership. But pausing as well, I think that can also happen, but let me get some clarity on that.
And I don't know
include
if
that in
it's
the-
changed. I hate to even speak out of turn because this could totally be wrong. But I will say that we have paused our Straighterline membership in the past. And so if that hasn't changed, then that is an option. But definitely check on that to be sure.
I think I can speak to it a little bit, but of course, double check. So at any time you can pause your membership. So let's say, just given the example here in the thread, you purchase the 4, you start 3 at one time, you decide you need to move on to something else. You can pause your membership and not pay the membership fee. You've already purchased the courses, so they're yours. And when you want to kind of connect back in, start your membership up again, those courses will still be there. The progress wherever you left off. Around every year, we recycle our courses. And so we always put a notice in the course that says, hey, this course is closing in 120 days. And it's just because there's a new one on the way. And sometimes the assessments don't always line up. But at any time, once you make that purchase of the courses, they're your courses. The activity and the engagement, that's the membership fee. So you could purchase 4 courses, get them all done in a month if you're a superhero. or finish everything but a little part, pause it, come back 2 months later, reignite your membership and just finish up for that month.
And is there a minimum age to begin?
No, they just need to be able to read. Basically, there's some limitations here, but no, there's no minimum age. We don't ask any of those types of questions. It's equal opportunity for anyone to do well in these courses.
Is there an verification when the student has to take a proctored exam?
Yes. But like I said, proctoring is going
It's
away.
going away.
Yeah,
Yes.
September 5th, it's like the button goes off and it goes dark. But yeah, right now there is in the few remaining that do have proctoring.
Let's see, there is a question. Can you purchase the courses before the 31st, but then start them in September?
Mhm. I think that Dr. Mel or Dr.
Well, you would have to activate your membership to make the purchase, correct?
Yeah, I believe just to kind of get in the door, you need that first month of active membership or that subscription. You can then, after that first month, and Kelly, definitely check me on this, but then you can sort of pause for as long as you need to. And then when you're ready to come back and do the work and get started again with the courses, or even at the very beginning, if you can do that, you can jump right back in. And you don't actually have to start the courses. You just need to, for the promotion, I mean, you can purchase courses at any time, but
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know, you guys think about the subscription, you know, think about the clock in terms of your homeschool schedule, because, you know, we used a lot of subscription courses in our homeschool. And the thing is that you are paying per month. And so there's a balance. You have to achieve the balance between giving your student enough time to work on it, but also not wasting time. So my advice would be to not try to take 4 courses right out of the gate, because that could be a little overwhelming. But perhaps try 1 course and 1 month and see how that goes, because that's going to give you a lot of information about how your student interacts with the platform, and you're going to then, as the parent, be able to see how to schedule that in with the rest of your homeschool. And you know, there are different strategies. That's more than what we're going to talk about today, but there are strategies where parents will, you know, do it almost like as a unit, where just during that 1 month, they're focusing on 1 class and just 1 class only, so that the student can just do that. That's one approach. We've done that as well, versus just maybe a 45 or 50-minute time period each day, which makes the course take longer time. So I would say, if you've never used a subscription type of billing before, to start slow and not maybe, you know, sign up for 4 courses, which I'm sure Straighterline doesn't want me to say that, but just, I'm telling you as a homeschool parent, like, to kind of understand how it works before you go all in, so that you can be successful. Because when we did it with our first son, I will just tell you my mistake with my oldest son. This was, I signed him up for 4 courses in August, and I gave him the whole year to complete those. And that was too long. That made it too expensive. By the time my third son was doing it, I was doing it in small batches. I knew that they could handle 2 courses at a time, and that's what he did. And so you just kind of, you learn how to use them to your advantage and also not break the budget.
Mhm. Yep.
And Kelly, I can address the one if you still want us to answer a few questions. I know we're at time, but
Yeah, we are at time. Is that okay?
yeah, of course. So the question is, can multiple students access the same course? So can I purchase a course and then have one child and then another use the same course? That might be one of the most interesting questions I've seen, because no one's ever asked that I'm aware of. And yes, I mean, once you have the course, anyone can look at the course, walk through the course. It's more about who's going to earn credit for the course and the same person taking the assessments and submitting the work. But in terms of the content and the experience and the rubrics, yeah, I mean, the course is open. I think anyone could take a look, and that content could technically be repurposed and used. A little bit of a loophole there, but the more the merrier, I think. Just the one person would get the credit though, ultimately, and one person could do the submissions.
I can tell you an adaptation that we used with Straighterline chemistry. When my son was in 11th grade, he completed Straighterline chemistry, but we did a home lab on Friday that my 7th grader participated in. And we actually used a different, it was a delivery service that sent labs to the house. And so then they did their labs together, and my other son was able to kind of participate that way. And so they were sharing the course, but they each had their own level, if you will.
Yeah, I love that. What type of ID is acceptable for international students? These are all great questions. I've never been asked that. And I'm curious, it might be something I take back unless Dr. Glenn.
Yeah, I don't have one for that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's a
okay.
good one.
Yep. Yep.
Someone asked a question about the non-proctored courses, and there are a couple different ways that happens. Some of them, like English 101 that just has capstones, there's really no ID verification except the student name on the essay or presentation that they're submitting. There are a couple courses where if you're doing a presentation, you're asked to take a picture of you with your driver's license or some other form of ID, passport, whatever it may be, depending on age, and submit that just for ID verification. But there are plenty of courses that don't require formal ID verification at all. Beyond your Moodle login, which will be tied to your name in the gradebook and all of those.
And the person who sees that is just the faculty member, so that we don't store those things. It's just the faculty member, like the paper or the experience pops up. It has the student's name, a picture of them, like saying, "Hi, it's me." And the faculty is like, "Great, I'm going to go ahead and grade this now, resubmit it," and it goes back to the student with the grade and the feedback.
Wonderful.
And then there was another question about testing into courses. None of our courses have prereqs or placement tests. Like Dr. Mel said, we do sometimes recommend it's ideal to have experience or to take a lab with a lecture concurrently, but there's no formal placement exams.
And is 70% passing for college credit?
Yes.
The final course percentage?
Yeah, so we offer two kinds of transcripts. We have just a Straighterline transcript, and that's whatever passing means to the school that's accepting the transcript. They can make that decision. It's the ACE transcript that has the 70% requirement, and they note it as pass or fail. So the student can request one or the other. It's really the choice of the student per course, wherever they're sending it to. They'll make that decision.
Mhm. Unlimited takes on tests.
Good question. So benchmarks are 3 times. Those are those exams or what you might consider a midterm or a final exam. Capstones, those are those project-based assessments. Those are 2 times. And then our checkpoints, those quick knowledge checks, are typically 3 times, but in a very few cases unlimited. If a student has ever had a technical issue or struggled in any way, they can also contact support services to see if it's possible to get another attempt, but those are the initial limits that have been set.
And the support services team run by Gloria, who's amazing, are actually real people who used to work in the office when we had a brick and mortar office. But those are the ones where I see something here about running out of tutoring and you're like, "Oh, I've got one more test and I really need tutoring. I have no hours left." You just call the support team, you let them know, and they open up access to you. It's really just people on the other end of the line.
Yeah.
And you need another chance, just call. Like, we'll figure out how to get you that chance. That happens all the time. Besides the technical errors, student just wasn't having a good day. They've run out of opportunities. They need, a certain score to get whatever it is they need. They call and we make it happen. Now, if someone takes it like 100 times, that could be an issue. But you know what I mean? Within reason, we do try to accommodate learners. Some of these tests are hard. Some of these papers that they write, these are college level courses and can be quite difficult. So I think human to human, just calling and asking for what you need. I really can't think of an example where we didn't provide that.
No, that's such a good point. And the reason why we have limited attempts is really for ACE. that's a way that they help us ensure integrity and rigor. But we are, of course, always willing to help a learner.
There was another question on testing and tests to get into the courses. I just want to underscore that there are no placement tests required to take a Straighterline course at all. You can take any course. So there's no cost for that. There's no entrance exams at all.
Yeah. You know, we're over time here, but I sure appreciate everyone hanging on for this additional time. If there were any questions that were unanswered, I'll definitely follow up in an email, again, with the recording, with the presentation. And Jennifer, I might just check with you to see if there's anything else that maybe you think your community might need with this follow-up. But what a great, great conversation. I love how engaged everyone is and how passionate everyone is. That's definitely a mission alignment. So thank you, everyone, for attending and taking your time with us. We really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate an opportunity to partner with you guys. You guys have the best platform going. You have the most partner colleges, the best price. I mean, it's just all wins. And I'm so very proud that we're able to get this relationship rolling. And also, just FYI, for those of you guys on the call listening, you know, we're going to be having our question and answer period on the 26th. I do that once a month. We can talk Straighterline strategy in that session if you guys want. I have some ideas that can help you be successful when you're taking your Straighterline course, and also how to kind of make the most to use these credits towards a degree at some of their partner colleges, because some of them are a little bit more credit friendly than others. So those are things we can talk about during the Q&A. But if you have other questions, you can always message them to me, and I can make sure that the team at Straighterline gets those questions answered for us.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.